Welcome to the Prophecy Club. As you know, Prophet Leslie has been doing an 11 DVD set called Error in the Church. Now, I'm about to play the audio of the DVD from the one called False Christs. I know what you're thinking. Stan, I would never be deceived by someone that calls himself False Christ. Well, hold on just a second. Because it might not be so easy. What if they are doing the things that build themselves to where they are a Christ without actually saying, hey, I'm Jesus Christ? Now listen to this. Following a false Christ influences a group of people by mind control, manipulation, lying signs and wonders, charisma, and mysticism. Usually the type of people that follow a cult are searching for God, which of course you and I are, we all are, but they're influenced by the seemingly gentle spirit of the cult leader. Many who are deceived by these false Christs will genuinely believe they're actually following the truth. Many will prophesy in the name of Jesus, do miracles. Oh, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? But they're serving and following a false Christ, not the true Jesus Christ. Many of these false Christs influence by their control to commit adultery, fornication, stating they are Jesus, and the women will be compelled to disrobe and do other things. These lying men proclaiming to be Jesus, God, of course, will hold them accountable for all their unfruitful works of darkness. Isolation, friends, relatives, the mainstream culture, their access to information is severely controlled. Their followers are in a cult following a false Christ. But we have all seen people that certainly like a lot of attention and a lot of accolades. And it could be, while they're not saying, I'm a Christ or I'm Jesus, but in fact is doing everything that a false Christ is going to do. And that's the reason it's important for me to play this particular segment called False Christ by Prophet Leslie Johnson. Enjoy.
That claims thousands of members in more than 30 countries. DeJesus, 61, grew up poor in Puerto Rico. He says that he served stints in prison there for petty theft and says he was a heroin addict. Well, right there. I mean, people are so ignorant. They follow these people that say, well, even like John Crowder. I talked about him in the mysticism church. He is thousands, and up to millions are following this John Crowder, and yet he says that he met Jesus on I think it was a heroin, when he had a heroin, he was a heroin addict, and he met him when he was really high. Well, you aren't meeting Jesus when you're really high like that. I'm just saying, okay? But anyway, he was a heroin addict, and he also says that that's where he met Jesus. You can meet a lot of things if you're having a heroin addict. Okay, although it is a number usually associated with Satan, not the Son of God, DeJesus says that 666 and the Antichrist are like him, misunderstood. The Antichrist is not the devil, DeJesus tells his congregation. He is a being who replaces Jesus on earth. Okay? Antichrist is the best person in the world, he says. Antichrist means don't put your eyes on Jesus because Jesus of Nazareth wasn't a Christian. Antichrist means do not put your eyes on Jesus Christ of Nazareth, put it on Jesus after the cross. And DeJesus says that means him. So far, DeJesus says that his flock hasn't been scared off by his claims of being the Antichrist. In a show of the sway he holds over the group, 30 members of the congregation Tuesday went to a tattoo parlor to have the 666 also permanently etched into their skin. DeJesus says he learned he was a Jesus reincarnate when he was visited by a dream by an angels. He says that 2 angels descended upon him and suddenly transformed his body and his mind. The prophets, they spoke about me. It took me time to learn that, but I am what they are expecting, what they have been expecting for 2,000 years, he says. The church that he began building 20 years ago in Miami resembles no other. Followers have protested Christian churches in Miami and Latin America, disrupting services and smashing crosses and statues of Jesus. DeJesus preaches there is no devil and no sin. In other words, again, you get to just do whatever you want to do as long as you have LOVE, okay? His followers, he says, literally can do no wrong in God's eyes. The church calls itself the government of God on earth and uses a seal similar to the United States. Miami cult, who tattooed themselves with 666, say the world will end on June 30th, 2012. Well, it's past 2012 when I'm doing this DVD, okay? He says the end of the world is approaching on the 30th of June, to be precise, and an obscure Christian sect is erecting billboards across the United States to let everyone know. Growing in Grace International have stepped up their global campaign to announce the transformation at the end of June, a day of final reckoning which will wipe out most of humanity except their followers. Adding their voices to the already noisy 2012 Apocalypse Brigade, Growing in Grace International are led by the charismatic Jose de Luis de Jesus, who openly calls himself the Antichrist and makes his followers tattoo 666 on their bodies. Just call this number and find out how to get 666 tattooed right on you. Now we're going to see this little video clip by this Jose de Jesus, and how the followers have been getting tattooed the 666 on them.
In a tattoo parlor on trendy South Beach,
You did the 666 really big? Yeah.
sat the daughter of the man who claims to be God.
He's back. He's here to teach us that we should reign in life, that there is no sin, and today we're honoring him with a symbol.
Joanne de Jesus is one of several dozen members of a religious sect called Creciendo en Gracia, or Growing in Grace. They were tattooed on their arms, ankles, even their necks with 666, the biblical sign of the Antichrist. Why? Because their spiritual leader says he is the Antichrist, not the embodiment of evil, but rather the second coming.
666, Antichrist, means do not put your eyes on Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Put it in Jesus after the cross.
And that's you.
That's me.
Andy says the word Antichrist is a bad translation of a word that actually means the new Christ, the second coming. Puerto Rican-born Jose Luis de Jesus Miranda founded the sect 20 years ago in a warehouse outside Miami.
You receive it, you accept it, you confess it, and it's done unto you.
The charismatic 61-year-old de Jesus claims millions of followers, most in Latin America. His sect does have hundreds of churches, cable TV stations, and says it brought in $1.4 million in donations last year. And he boasts of a rapidly growing presence in the United States. In an interview with us in September, he declared,
I do greater things than Jesus of Nazareth. Much greater.
now sporting his new tattoos,
666. Triple S. Huh?
De Jesus says those expecting the second coming of Christ on a cloud with angels have misinterpreted what Jesus himself said.
He said it. You won't see me anymore because he will come in another body, which is me.
He's in their head. He's inside the heads of those people.
De Jesus is dangerous, says religion professor Daniel Alvarez, because he believes he's God.
And these megalomaniacal moves are the ones that are very disturbing because it shows that he does believe his own hype and he's capable of saying to his members, go tattoo 666 on your arm. I believe he's also capable of asking his church members to do even something more dramatic than that.
De Jesus laughs at the implication.
They always say those things. They're going to keep waiting for me to kill everybody, you know.
Right.
I'm giving life to people.
De Jesus is referring to the suicide deaths of more than 900 killed in the so-called Jonestown Massacre nearly 30 years ago. But he says mass suicide would never happen with his followers.
If somebody tells us, listen, drink some Kool-Aid and then we'll go to heaven, that's not true. We are already in heavenly places.
De Jesus preaches that heaven can be found here on earth simply by following him. There's no sin and there is no hell. And that's part of why he's attracting so many followers. But marking your body with 666 seems an unusual way to show you're a Christian, even unnerving the tattoo artist.
I see you wearing a cross.
Protection.
John Zarella, CNN, Miami Beach.
Yeah, don't you want to follow someone like that? That says that Antichrist just means second coming, which means that it's him. So it's a little unnerving, but this is what the people are following and thinking that he's Jesus Christ. Miranda claims to be both Jesus Christ and the Antichrist. Now, he did pass away on August 8, 2013. So I guess, what happened? He's supposed to be Jesus, right? What happened anyway? So he says he claimed to be both the return phase of Jesus Christ and the Antichrist. He was known for making statements that opposed the precepts of the Roman Catholic Church, but that followed his interpretation of the Bible. He was previously known of, which I'll just say what translates roughly to the Jesus Christ man. That's what he called himself, the Jesus Christ man. But shortly after his death, his followers, they had to come up with something to do. I mean, Jesus died. Oh, no. Anyway, so he granted him the title of Melchizedek. So he died on, he was born April 27, 1946. He died August 8, 2013. At age 67, he died from cirrhosis of the liver in Sugar Land, Texas. Right by here. Yeah. Just want y'all to know. The followers they're still following after him and just changed his name. Let's see this short video clip from De Jesus Miranda, and he is another false Jesus. I want you to just notice how his followers greet him as he walks around.
He enters this hotel conference room in Hartford, Connecticut with a security team that rivals a head of state. An adoring audience greets him with calls of daddy and sings his praises. He is 60-year-old Jose Luis de Jesus Miranda from Puerto Rico, a preacher, an evangelist to be sure, but to his followers and in his own eyes, he's more than a man of God. Just ask him.
I'm Jesus Christ man in front of you.
That's right. He says he is the second coming. He claims in 1973 he had an epiphany.
When Jesus, the resurrected Jesus, came to me, he integrated himself within me.
So why you?
I don't know.
In the mid-'80s, Miranda started his own ministry called Creciendo en Gracia, or Growing in Grace. It's a religious movement that claims a presence in more than 20 countries, mostly in Central and South America, but also in the United States. From Hartford to his headquarters in Miami, he says there are more than 30 teaching centers nationwide.
We don't give membership cards. So I don't know how many I have, but certainly are millions. Every week we grow.
And with a 24-hour cable channel, netcasts of his sermons and radio programs, Miranda is out to spread the word. Those who believe him, like these followers in Miami, the Son of Man is back, also embrace his unique interpretation of the Bible. For example, sin no longer exists.
God doesn't see you as a sinner. For me, you are a perfect spirit.
There's also no such thing as the devil.
Satan is a Hollywood character.
As for prayer, he says it's a waste of time, and he calls all other religious leaders liars.
The lies began in Rome. I'm against all those teachings from Catholic, Protestant, evangelicals. They're not teaching the right gospel.
We'll be right back after this message. The next speaker at the Prophecy Club is Christine White. America's Church, the Washington National Cathedral, invited Muslims to worship Allah in a Christian church. Come and hear the amazing story of how God supernaturally got Christine past 3 checkpoints, and she seemed to be invisible to security guards as she was escorted to the perfect seat to proclaim that Jesus Christ is Lord in a Christian church and that Muslims should not be worshiping Allah in a Christian church. Hear how the hand of God has been with her in many incidents to stand for Jesus, and there is a respectable way to stand for Christ. Saturday, February 21st, 7 p.m., Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue in Plano. That's Saturday, February 21st, 7 p.m., Spirit of Prophecy Church on the corner of Park and K behind the Whataburger in Plano. Gift of $10 suggested at the door. Doors at 6, speaking from 7 to 10:30. See you there! And now, back to the program.
The lies began in Rome. I'm against all those teachings from Catholic, Protestant, evangelicals. They're not teaching the right gospel.
His followers say Miranda is the only one telling the truth, and that his teachings have set them free.
I thank him so much for being able to look myself in the mirror and knowing that I'm seeing him in me and that I could literally love myself.
But one common church practice that Miranda doesn't dismiss is the use of the collection plate.
Do people have to pay to be part of this?
No.
They do have to donate.
They make donations according to the Bible, the tithing.
The Bible asks for 10% tithing.
Yeah.
But your followers do much more than that.
Because of the
They give their companies, they give their...
Oh, they give everything.
His most generous followers have even given him cars and estates, including a home inside this gated community, which Miranda recently sold for close to $1 million.
So you don't have a problem with material wealth?
Everybody should be rich.
One who is giving his share of riches to Miranda is Alvaro Albarracin, a successful web entrepreneur.
Anyway, so there you go. We should all be rich and just follow after him, and everything will be just right and okay. And it sounds very wonderful to the flesh, saying there's no sin. How many times have we heard that on this era of the church teachings, saying there's no sin? Don't worry about it. This came from by mail online. When the world ends on June 30th this year, De Jesus will assume control of the planet's government when everyone but his followers have perished. Retreating from public view on April 22nd of this year to prepare for the transformation, De Jesus is readying his group for eventual takeover of the world. A government where will be governed everything with a perfect order, described De Jesus in his goodbye address. This is my last farewell for you. The time is finished. We will see each other again soon in Armageddon. Now, the ex-wife of this De Jesus says, who claimed to be Jesus Christ and founder of the Florida-based Growing in Grace cult movement, confirmed his death. See, they denied his death for quite a long time here, but she confirmed it. However, his organization assured the media that he is still alive because they believe Miranda is immortal. Miranda claimed to be Jesus Christ and the Antichrist, telling his followers to get 666 tattooed on their hands at one point as a sign that they believed in him. Josefina Torres, who was married to Miranda for 7 years, made the video with the purpose to expose the lies behind her ex-husband's business and called out his church leaders who have made a profit from naive followers. I am confirming his death, and I am the only one making it publicly known because I don't want to be a part of the lies that have betrayed people for so long. I can't continue people's faith, beliefs, and feelings to be hurt any longer, says Torres in her video. According to Torres, Miranda's cult leaders continue to deny his death because admitting it would bring negative repercussions to their organization. They're keeping shut because they want to continue fabricating lies while taking pieces of the Bible to impart their false doctrine onto the followers since they make money off of them. They're just afraid to be embarrassed by admitting his death because the great transformation that they preached about is false, said Torres. The last public appearance made by Miranda was on April 27th video where he appeared thinner and frail, and he urged his followers to prepare for the great transformation where, according to him, he will become immortal along with his followers. So he knew he was dying. You understand that? He knew he was, and so they were. This is how he says, "Well, I'll be back," and then that's why the followers and his leaders with him now called him Melchizedek. Well, we're going to find out some more about these false Jesus. And I can tell you right now, just because you have a whiteboard and you write the words, "I'm Jesus," on them, does not make you Jesus. But this man we're going to talk about next, that's exactly what he does. This came from Christian News website. His name was This came from Christian News website, A.J. Miller and Mary Luck. It just happened to be luck that her name is Mary. Anyway, this came from Australia. Also known as A.J. Allen John Miller, lives in Queensland, Australia, with his partner Mary Luck. Miller claims that he remembers details from his former life as Jesus, and Luck says that she is the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene. Both state that they were married in their previous life and had a daughter together. I have a very clear memories of the crucifixion, he says, but if it wasn't as harrowing for me as it was for others like Mary who was present, Miller told Sky News last year. The two run the organization Divine Truth and have appeared on local and international television programs to speak of Miller's claims of being the Messiah. Crowds of generally 100 people or more gather to hear him speak at his seminars, and some followers from across the country have given up their possessions and families to be near this Miller guy. We're going to see a video clip of this A.J. Miller, and this was inside Australia's chilling new cult, they say. This was a special investigation of a self-proclaimed Messiah.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Sunday Night. Tonight, a worldwide investigation into the evil and destructive ways of a self-proclaimed Messiah, a charismatic Australian whose devoted disciples believe he walked this earth 2,000 years ago. We commissioned the Reverend David Milliken, one of the world's foremost experts on cults, to head up our special investigation that's been 10 months in the making. Tonight, we'll take you inside the Messiah's isolated Queensland compound, where he's preparing his followers, including children, for the apocalyptic end of the world.
The idea that the group is coming together in a community and that Miller is developing a compound, in my opinion, is ominous, because only the most extreme cults isolate themselves in a compound. Jonestown or a Waco Davidian group, which were two groups that ended tragically in mass suicide. This is when groups become the most extreme, because the leader controls everything.
The leader is this man.
My name's Alan John Miller, but I'm actually Jesus. I remember all of the events of my crucifixion. I understood what was going on. I understood the reason for my death.
And he's collecting disciples. Miller has convinced them that they were with him at his crucifixion.
Just went to get the spike and smash it into his hands, and just so much love that came from him, so I couldn't do it.
It was excruciating to watch basically the annihilation of the person that I love the most.
Whenever I think about him now, I just cry. I'm starting to have a soul, like an emotional realisation of who he is.
I'm on the way to Murgon in country Queensland to 2 days of teachings by Yeshua ben Joseph, or Jesus. It's a gathering of the faithful from around the world.
Well, welcome along. I'm Jesus, this is Mary. And so what we want to do today is talk about addictions and bribery and fear, threats and blackmail. I can feel that many of you are still in addictions with regard to your development towards God. I've got all of these emotional injuries. I will feed them with my truth. These things are not going to go away from you just by you getting baptised.
To me, these words sound like rehashed New Age pop psychology. But for these people, they burn with the light of divine truth.
Let yourself feel the disillusionment you feel, the disillusionment about the search.
What's happening here is AJ is talking about emotions. Now, most religions are suspicious of emotions. They see faith as essentially a thing of the mind. But emotions take us to the heart of AJ's teachings. What he's doing is setting up a sort of spiral where people get dragged down and down and down, and people are asked to plumb the depths of emotions from which many of them can never escape. One of his techniques to draw people in is to demand that they find emotional trauma in their family history.
Let yourself feel what it was like to have to shut yourself down so much just to please your mother. Because that's what she wants. That's what she wants you to do. Shut you down so much. And she was giving you all of these things, but she wants a heap of things in return from you, and that feels bad to you. So allow yourself to connect with that. That's it. And as you connect to that, you will start really connecting. That's it. And as you connect, that's how much rage is there. You see, this is the childhood rage now. You see that? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. And this is the childhood rage that's still there. Let yourself feel it.
Well, as you can see there, watching that, the Kundalini spirit came upon the man. And I'll talk about that in the Mysticism DVD and actually on several of the other DVDs of the Era of the Church.
I'm going to do something a little bit different to end this broadcast. I'm going to ask you to support the Prophecy Club. I should probably tell you that most of the finances that pays for all of the radio and all the other things that we have to do, surprisingly, does not come in from DVDs. We continue to put the DVDs out primarily because I believe there's going to be a time when you will not be able to access them through the internet. You will only have the actual disc. So I think it's very important for soul-winning purposes to continue to make DVDs. But that is not what supports us. What supports us is your generous gifts. And we, from time to time, do need you to stand with us. And matter of fact, how about on a monthly basis? So let me briefly tell you about our Partaker program. It is a program, we call them partakers, not partners, because when you give into a ministry, you also partake in the blessings that God will give to that ministry. So I'm asking you to call Prophecy Club and tell them that you want to be a regular monthly supporter. Again, we call them partakers. Not only do we need a donation today, but we need you to stand with us every month, month in, month out. So if you only occasionally listen to the Prophecy Club and it doesn't really affect your life, then I'm not talking to you. But if you are a regular listener, then would you prayerfully consider calling the Prophecy Club or going online and becoming a partaker? 785-266-1112 or prophecyclub.com. That's 785-266-1112. Tell them you want to become a monthly partaker, and they can explain to you all about how to do that. We do need your prayers. Nothing happens without prayers, but we also need your regular monthly support. Not just getting DVDs, not just prayer, but also regular monthly giving. Call 785-266-1112 or go online to prophecyclub.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers, and thank you for your gifts of support. God bless. Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. Shocking, amazing, heresy, and blasphemy. Using over 100 video clips, you will see large, well-known ministers making shocking statements contrary to the Bible. Not just simple doctrinal errors, but open abomination, heresy, apostasy, even blasphemy. So bad, you'll have to see it to believe it. See some of your favorite, most popular pastors seduce you with lying signs and wonders. The biggest names teach a false Christ. Yes, it is true. Your mouth will fall open. God exposes the worst sins of the Bible in these DVDs called Error in the Church. Worse than the Old Testament, nation-killing sins in America today. You won't be disappointed. You'll be furious, beyond angry. I thank God that Leslie showed me these shocking errors, and I would never have known it or believed it if I had not actually seen it. This will keep Prophecy Club and you from falling into error. Don't miss it. The fantastic offer of Error in the Church. Call today and give a $50 gift, and we will immediately ship you the first 3 DVDs, 13 topics, 11 DVDs. And we put it together in a fantastic new offer. Call today and give a $50 gift, and we will immediately ship you the first 3 DVDs. 30 days later, we'll charge your card for the second $50 gift, then send you the final 8 DVDs totaling 11 DVDs. 30 days later, we'll charge the third $50 gift. 30 days later, the fourth and final $50 gift, making it easy for you to get this fantastic set of 11 DVDs. That is 4 monthly gifts of $50 each. Error in the Church, 13 topics, 11 DVDs, valued at $330. Get started today for a gift of just $50. If you already placed an order, call 785-266 and we'll explain your great deal. Call 785-266-1112 and ask them for the fantastic Error in the Church offer. $50 donation gets you 3 DVDs heading your way today. Error in the Church, 785-266-1112. 1112. Air in the Church, 785-266-1112. Call today.